not about asking, you don't, I can't ask you, how can I do this ceremony, because that gift is yours, it was given to you. So if I ask you to teach me, that's yours. That's not mine. It wasn't not intended for me. So you go ahead and teach me. So when you think I'm ready to do my own ceremony, I might be able to do 2 or 3 of them. But because it's not mine, it'll has to go back to you. Just like say I wanted to go hunting, but I don't have a rifle. I know where to get one, so I come and ask you, can I borrow your rifle? I want to go hunting. So you lend me your rifle and I go hunting. I'm successful, I come home with a moose, and then because the rifle isn't mine, I gotta go give it back to you. That's the same way with the teachings. You might retain the teachings, the knowledge, but the ability to be able to do the ceremony that person you're asking was given the right, it goes back to the other person. Wherever you're given the gifts and the responsibility to be that person, one of my teachers always told me, if people wants to seek you out for certain counseling or whatever they need from you, from your traditional knowledge, it's better you do it where you received your gifts, close to the area where your spirits reside, your spirit helpers reside. Just like, they used to have CB radios, and the further away you go from your land base, so the further away you go, you'll have no reception. And that's what one of my teachers used to tell me. If people come and offer tobacco to you to seek something, a counseling session, healing, or a name, or whatever, you do it close to where you receive your gifts. Don't take your bundle and go elsewhere, because the further away you go from where you received your gifts, the less reception you will get from your spirits, because you're not there in close proximity to where they reside. So I have pipes that I've been given to use in certain ceremony and this and that. Same thing, I was told never to take my pipe elsewhere, even Kenora or Fort Francis or wherever, Then about 10, 12 years ago, I was given, again, I didn't ask for it, I was given a traveling pipe, because the spirits started to understand that I was required to sometimes to speak at a gathering, or be the elder to open a meeting, or to be the elder at that session. Provide kind of I guess provide a decorum in the meeting kind of setting, and that's how I got my pipe, my traveling pipe. Now I can take my pipe wherever I'm required to take it, so. And the other thing is, don't ever ask, like say, we have sacred sites all over the place, and we go there in the spring, we do offerings, our tobacco offerings, our food, or maybe cloth, and whiskey too. They like whiskey, as an offering. So you do that fall, spring and fall, and that's another teaching that I was told. When you go to those sites, don't ask the spirits that reside there to teach you something, to give you something, because it may require you giving something else in order for them to give you a certain teachings, and it may require taking somebody, maybe somebody you love or somebody, your friend or whatever. So I was told never to ask, spirits that reside in a given area to teach you something, because it'll come at a price. That's what I was told too. And that point about asking another traditional healer if they can teach you how to do a certain ceremony. That ceremony that you're asking to be taught belongs to that individual. It was gifted to that individual to do on behalf of people. If I go ask him, teach me, and he does teach me. And after a while, I'm able to conduct that ceremony according to how he does it, and I may be able to do the ceremony a few times to the effect that he has in doing the ceremony, but then because that gift isn't mine, it has to go back to that individual I asked to give me that knowledge. So at a certain point in time, my ceremonies become empty, because that responsibility to do that ceremony resides with that individual that was gifted. It was not given to me. Much like I would borrow a certain item from you. Like, say, can I borrow your filming, your equipment? I want to go film something, I want to go videotape a friend of mine, Those are yours, After I am done, I got to give it back to you. That same concept. It's not mine to have. So that's the other teaching. My teacher told me never ask another person to give you their knowledge. That it's theirs. It's according to how you walk the road. You already have gifts of your own, and it's how you use the gifts. And how you support others and this and that. Creator will watch you, how you walk and how you deal with people and stuff like that. And he will make sure that you received further gifts, and that's how we grow as knowledge keepers. It's how we walk and how we justify ourselves to be given more knowledge is by the Creator. We don't ask for that, and it's given to you because of how you walk Mother Earth. You walk with respect, humility. You're humble, you're honest, and you try to use Ogichidaa Teachings, his love, kindness, and compassion for everyone, even your, people that are your detractors too, I don't fight back. I accept that as them providing me with their energy, their strength, and that's how I was raised. That's what I was told, is don't ever fight back, and when people stab you in the back or do stuff to you, just accept it, and you'll be a far better person than whoever trying to bring you down. I mentioned earlier that I belong to Sundance, Metewin, and Roundhouse. With respect to Metewin, I was told many years ago when I lost a son that I was to go to Metewin on his behalf. Chibe Metewe, Kito Anishinaabe, when you go there, go on behalf of a person that's passed on to the other side. I was supposed to do that for my son, but what prevented me from doing that was what happened earlier in my life was I accidentally killed a puppy one time. I never intended to kill it. It just so happened I did, and when the little puppy was in distress, I even tried to give it mouth to mouth, and but I wasn't successful, and it died on me, and I was I was heartbroken for having done that, and rightfully so. I paid for it. Shortly after that, I became ill. I became sick. I would find myself waking up. I'm not breathing. I went to see a doctor, and I went to emergency, and each time I went there, they said there was nothing wrong with me physically, and told me it was up in your head, And so my mother told me to go to a shake tent. So I went to a shake tent, and I asked why I was going through this. Doctors are telling me there's nothing wrong, but I know there's something wrong with me. It's my body, and I know what's happening. So I went to ceremony, and I was told in ceremony that you killed a puppy earlier, and that's how that puppy, as it was trying to grasp its last bits of air, that's what it felt like. What's happening to you and what you're feeling when you wake up. That's what was happening to that puppy as it was dying. So now you have to make amends, to that puppy. So I was given directions from ceremony how to make amends, beg the pardon of that puppy, that I didn't intentionally harm it or kill it, and so I had to do certain things, which I did, and yes, I got well. It went away. I satisfied the spirit of that puppy that accepted my apologies, accepted me begging its pardon, that I didn't want to continue being like that, and so that's one of the reasons why I didn't want to go to that Mitewin ceremony, because I was also told I had to take a puppy. It had to be white too, and that puppy I accidentally killed was white, and I was told I would have to kill it. I'd have to eviscerate it, prepare it, cook it, and eat it in ceremony, and I said I can't do that. I can't go against direction from a shake tent, I will not do that. That's why I didn't go. But over a period of time, I would say maybe 15 years later, I started dreaming about Mitewin Lodge. They were the Mitewin spirits were imploring me that they were still waiting. We're waiting for you. You need to do that. And but I kept dreaming about it, and but I had the reluctance to go to that place where I was supposed to go that time. So in desperation, I went to a shake tent, and I asked, and I told the shake tent spirits in the shake tent what happened to me earlier with that puppy, and the ceremony I had to go through to get healed, and the direction I was given never to harm a puppy or a dog again, and I said I couldn't do that. I couldn't go against the direction I got from shake tent, so I'm here requesting how do I go about I'm being told now I'm having dreams. I'm supposed to go to a Mitewin ceremony, and I was told there are other ways of Mitewin. They have Mitewin ceremonies up around in Little Black River, Manitoba. That's where I was directed to go, and that's where I've gone to get initiated in the Metewan ceremony. They don't use puppies over there, and so I was able to do that. I was able to enter the Metewan society through another way, instead of going to the one in Panema, Minnesota. That's where I was told to go, and so that's how I got initiated into Metewan society. Again, I never asked. It's not an exclusive club where people can just go and ask permission to join, or pay a fee to join this exclusive club. It's not that at all. It's a calling. I've never asked, but it's the way. I guess it's according to how I live, and I'm required to do these things, and it's the spirits themselves that ask me to go that route, and I gotta accept that too, because if I don't take up the responsibilities I'm given, it's almost like I'm giving up on my own life. It's responsibilities I have to take up, take care of, and they're not for me. They're for people that require that knowledge, and that whatever I need to provide for people. And it's the same way with the Sundance. To begin with, when I was a baby, when I was first born, I was given a name, Song Kamiginang. Gijin Kanigo, Song Kamiginang, and I didn't know. I'll tell you about it towards the end of my Sundance story. Anyways, that's the name I was given, Song Kamiginang, and then I also became a traditional dancer along the way. I never intended to be a traditional dancer, but I kept dreaming about it, and I kept getting a visit by an eagle who took the shape of an older gentleman with white hair, but it was an eagle that come talk to me and told me that I needed to enter that circle. I needed to carry eagle bustle. And I don't mean I carry it. Eagle bustle carries me. That's who I am today. So I was, again. It was never my intention to be a dancer, but again, through interpretations of my dreams and the visitations from the eagle, that's how I became a traditional dancer. And so I started dancing. It was 1977, and I started traveling throughout Anishinaabe country, powwows in the States, Saskatchewan, Alberta, Manitoba, Southern Ontario, Minnesota, North Dakota, and Wisconsin, Michigan. I was all over. I met this older gentleman, who I befriended. And he was older than me, and he showed up at my house one fall. And he said, I'm here to bring you bad news and good news. He said, first the bad news, my brother, who was about your age, died. He got shot. He said, got shot to death. And he was the one that I intended to pass on my knowledge, my teachings, my lodge to him. Now he's gone. And the good news is I'm here to adopt you as my little brother. And you are going to carry on with my teachings when I'm gone, my lodge, when I'm gone, he said. So that's why I'm here. So he adopted me as his brother, and again, I never asked for that. It's just what happened, what happens in life when you try to walk the Anishinaabe road, and it kind of scared me at first, and why me, and for 4 years he'd come in the spring. He'd say when you first see the robin, I'll be there within a day or a couple days, and that's what happened every time I saw a robin, outside my kitchen window, and my brother would arrive, and we'd go to my trapping cabin. I also have a trapping cabin out in the lake, and we'd go there. We set up a lodge over there, and he told me, there's nothing I can teach you, but you will be my helper. Shkabe Usigaya, you'll be the ones gathering rocks for sweat lodge. You'll be the one making the water, the medicine for splashing the rocks, and you'll be watching the fire. You'll be the one taking the grandfathers into the sweat lodge and this and that, and I can't teach you nothing. He says, just Minjimandan, remember, Pizindan, listen to me. You remember what I say, you listen to me, you keep your eyes open, you observe what I do. That's how you will do things when I leave. I can't teach you nothing, because you already have your pipe, you already have certain items. That's what you'll use when I go after 4 years. That'd be your lodge. And depending on how you carry yourself and carrying out your responsibility of that taking care of that lodge, more gifts will come to you, he said. So probably after a couple of years, I started dreaming about this lodge that I didn't know. I've never seen. It had a center pole, and it had structure around it, and there were people dancing around. There was kind of cubicles, or they were in there and dancing, and I was in the middle. I was in the middle, and there was an individual there holding had his arms wrapped around the pole, and I was behind this individual. I had a few strands of sage in my hand, and I had my eagle feather, and I was tapping him with, and then every now and then I'd go like that, and I didn't know what that was about, and then also around that same time I kept dreaming about another individual showing me pierce marks where they'd pierce somebody, and they put a red substance around that piercing area to avoid to stem the tide of bleeding blood. I didn't know what that was either, so I brought tobacco to an uncle of mine, here in the community. I asked him what those dreams were all about. So he had his ceremony, and he said, I can't tell you anything, but I was told you had to go visit your brother at the Turtle Mountains. So I got in my car, my vehicle. I went there unannounced, and I went up the Turtle Mountains, and I pulled into his driveway, and he was standing there in his driveway just laughing. He was going like this with his hands, just laughing away, and I got out of my vehicle. He says, Nishi man, he says, little brother, Iwabi in, little brother, I've been waiting for you. And then he directed me to his shop. I got something for you here. I made something for you. I knew you were coming. I knew you were going to come and get this. He said. So I followed him into his shop, and he took down a bundle wrapped in a white cloth, and then he unwrapped it, and in there was a shaker. It had one side was painted yellow and the other side blue, and it had stars and moon and stuff like that on it, and it had an eagle whistle in there. And he told me, this is what you're coming for, and you're going to come with me. In a couple of weeks I'm going to a Sundance. That's where you'll use these items, because you're intended to join the Sundance Society. So that's how I entered the Sundance Society as well. I never asked. It was, again, according to how I walked the road, how I tried to keep strictly to the right way, and not get off, not get derailed, or always try to maintain that love, kindness, and compassion for people. And so that's how I ended up in the Sundance. And then when I started going to the Sundance, and I was gifted a drum. I have a Sundance drum that I was given from Rolling River, Manitoba. That's where it belonged, and I have that, and I brought it home, and I was told to take it to an elder when I came home and ask him what I should do with it, and then they adopted it into their roundhouse in the community. So that's where my drum belongs. It's part of the roundhouse society, drum society we have, and it also still belongs to that Sundance. And I take good care of them, because they take care of me, and they take care of the people that come and seek something from those items, and again, going back to my name, Song Kamiginang, and English translation. My brother passed away about 5-6 years ago. His name was Jim Greatwalker. Notinen was his Ojibwe name. When he passed away and came home from the funeral in Turtle Mountains, I started dreaming of him. He'd come to me and he'd ask me, and he'd speak to me in English. Have you ever tried to interpret what Song Kamiginang means? He said to me. I said, I don't know. Then he laughs, and my name, Jim Greatwalker, Song Kamiginang. You translate it to English is Greatwalker. Song Kamiginang is Greatwalker. Again, how was that preordained to happen that way when I was given that name as just a newborn baby, and I end up being adopted by a person called Greatwalker, and the English translation of my name is Greatwalker, and so that's why I say, it's very important for people never to ask for the ability to do a ceremony or do things and stuff like that. If it's intended for you, by all means, grasp it. Take on the responsibility, because I guess if you take care of people, the Creator will find ways to, keep you around a bit longer, I guess. I don't know, I don't know how long I'm going to be here, but I have to say I've been fairly lucky, and fairly healthy at this point in time too. So I used to play hockey too, so I tore up my knee real bad. I needed surgery. In fact, I had surgery 3 times on my knee before I could walk normal on it, and have it not collapse on me now and then. But the first time I had surgery, that very first week I came out of the hospital, there was a powwow in Fort Francis that weekend. So I went there with my crutches, and I sat down. I was watching the powwow, and I had my leg elevated on a chair because I couldn't bend it straight. Then I seen this gentleman, an elder from my community. I seen him dance by. He went around, and as he was coming around, and I was looking at him, and we made eye contact, and I knew right there and then that he was going to come and see me. So I was watching him, and he kept coming, dancing towards me. And he stopped right in front of me and held out his hands like that. Bah, wichum tuition. Come on, dance with me, he said. I laughed at him. I can't. One tons Rocco got in and he's again done, yeah, he got. Bah. Pinessi nang shitimendagus. That's what he said. He said in Ojibwe, he said, you belong to the Thunderbird Society. I didn't understand what Pinessi nang means. Thunderbird Society still didn't make a connection. But anyways, he further explained further. He said, Miksha e nind ayaga basigwit. Ki mategas nite ganan. Pinessi nang ishtimendagose. What he explained in Ojibwe, he says, when a person gets up to dance at the beat of the drum with your regalia, you belong to the drum, to the Sundance Society. That's what he told me. So after he said that, I agreed with, I got up, accepted his invitation to dance with him, and he was holding me. He held me with, as I started to hobble. I hobbled with him, but he told me the drums, the sacred songs will heal you. And I still smiled, but I was in total disbelief I didn't even complete one circle. I could dance. I could walk normally. My pain was gone. I came home that night after the powwow holding my crutches. I didn't need them anymore. That's what healed me. That's what healed my knee, was the drums, the song, and that teaching that elder provided me. And I am forever indebted to that man. Some people didn't like him, but for me, he found the love and kindness and compassion in his heart to do that for me. I will never forget that. He will always be in my heart, for having done that for me, and again that goes to the point of our culture, our traditions, our ceremonies. They're very, very powerful medicine, powerful healing. So that's what I wanted to share about how you attain gifts, It's not about asking, it's about how you walk, the red earth, Anishinaabe road. If you follow it according to love, kindness, and compassion, Ogichidaa Teachings, and that's what I wanted to talk about in terms of how people attain or receive teachings, gifts, not just from the Creator, the spirits, but also from other knowledge keepers and traditional healers. So maybe it'll be able to reach some people and consider their own path in life, and getting reconnected to who we are. Our ceremonies, our ways, our teachings is the way to go. We need to blend that with the modern world, the modern way of doing things. But our foundation has to remain the same. But it's okay to adapt them to fit modern realities. So that's what I wanted to share, and hopefully it'll assist somebody in walking that road. So yeah, me which.